One of the most important things that I learned from my riding teacher was to always set your horse up to win. And that means you create the circumstances in which your horse is most likely to succeed. You make sure that everything is set up so that there are minimal things that can go wrong, minimal ways that they can understand you, or misunderstand you rather. And in so doing, you are helping them to understand more quickly, more easily, what it is that is actually going on, what you're asking them to do, how you'd like them to do it, and so on and so forth. And I think that in a lot of different areas of our lives, parenting is something that comes to mind. That's a principle that's pretty important to the development of any kind of skill or knowledge or any kind of application that someone chooses to pursue. The better we set ourselves up to succeed, the easier it is getting there to where we'd want to get to. It doesn't mean that it's not difficult. It doesn't mean that there aren't challenges, sure, but you minimize those challenges as much as possible. You prevent the avoidable bumps along the way. So, despite that principle that makes so much sense, that seems to be the kind of thing that, you know what, we should live this in every part of our lives. It's like every part of our lives is set up to ensure failure rather than success. And it's not like we can blame the particular structures, the particular organizations, the particular roles that are created in our society, because it's not like these things have manifested out of thin air or have been put into play by some divine power. We have created these things. So we have essentially created systems, created structures that in their very nature disempower us. And it's like, it doesn't make any sense. It's like unfathomable. Why would we do this? And the first thing that is like the most obvious answer that comes up is that we don't understand really what we've done. We don't really understand what we've created and how we created it and the consequences of our creation. We don't see the effects of our actions. We don't see the effects of our inactions. We now have such an interconnected system, a global system that is in so many ways set up for us to fail, and we don't even see that we are the creators of this system. We don't even see that we have the capacity to change it, and that our actions have real effects on the world around us. Let's take, for example, something like the economy. It's the way that it is portrayed is that it's this thing that has a life of its own. Yes, our actions in certain business sectors and the public sectors have an effect on the economy. However, us as individuals, and even it's almost more in a collective sense as well. It's like our country can't really do anything about how our economy is going at the moment, because you know what, things are just the way that they are, and life's tough, and everyone's going through a hard time, and you know, we just need to hold on, get through this rough patch, and things will get better. But in truth, the people who know how to have an effect on their worlds, the people who are good at setting things into action, into motion. The people who have very big, very successful businesses, they are the ones who know that the power of your choices, the power of your actions. They discovered the power of their actions, of their choices, when they are really living and pushing to create what they want to create. They've discovered that they can actually do it. So that is one way to look at the elite of the world, that there are people who have discovered the power of really committing to making a choice manifest in the physical, making it happen, making it real, making it tangible. While the rest of us kind of just tra-la-la-la-la, go along. We have our challenges in our days, we have our family issues, we have our relationship issues, we have our work issues, and that's kind of what takes up all of the space inside of us. And even in those areas where we want to make some kind of a difference, or where we have big goals, big dreams, it's like a lot of the time what tends to happen is that we don't really manifest, we don't really commit to the creation of those visions and goals and dreams. It's like we tell ourselves, that's what I want, that's what I want to do, that's what I want to create, that's what I want to build. But when you look at what is practically being done in the physical to create that, and very often it's very little. So we are not very good at realizing, or let's rather say that we have missed the point of how effective our actions can be in the world. So if we go back to the point of economy, okay, so you might ask, right, so I can have an effect, what do I do? Because, you know, it's the problem is so big, it's so much, it's so vast. What can I do? I don't know what I can do. And it's not like there is one thing to do. It's not like there is one simple answer, because part of what we're facing is that everything is so interconnected. Everything feeds off of everything else. So the solution must be equally interconnected. And the solution must include that one factor that we have been missing in everything, which is us, which is how we live, who we are, what we are allowing within ourselves that flows out into what we allow in the world around us. The things that we believe are okay to do because we do them ourselves, when in truth those things are not really so great. So the little things that we let slip, the little ways that we are corrupt and therefore will allow corruption. We won't fight it too hard in the world. It's like this kind of tacit acceptance of things. It's just the way it is. So step one, or part of the process of creating some kind of change, is how can I change? How can I change the way that I see the world, the way that I develop my relationships, the way that I make choices, the way that I see things, the way that I look at problems and develop solutions? How can I change how I live that has been so focused on the things that are part of this design that sets us up to fail, and start recreating and living in a different way that focuses on how can I make this a success? How can I build this to become something real, something tangible, something that can have an effect? Even if it's just a small effect for now, that effect ripples out and touches the lives of all the people around me. And that is how we can, in small and yet big ways, make differences in our lives, in our communities, in the workplace, in our social environments, by starting to reflect on who we are, how we came to be this way, and how we can change, how we can be better, how we can improve ourselves, how we can really stand and live as examples and support the people in our lives to do the same. Okay, if you have any questions or comments or would like me to expand on the topic or answer some related questions to the topic, then you can send a direct message or leave a comment. If you would like to support me, you can do so on Patreon. Otherwise, I shall see you next time. Thanks for watching.